One of the most important considerations for those interested in moving to or already living in Panama is healthcare. If you're coming from another country, the healthcare system will be different, so it makes good sense to be informed about where to go for primary or emergency care and pharmaceutical services. In the Boquete area, there are several medical clinics, laboratories, and pharmacies. They're not usually at the same location, and you have to travel from one to the other. This is not always convenient, especially if you're feeling lousy and just want to go home after seeing the physician, rather than make separate trips to the laboratory and pharmacy. This video is about a connected group of health services in Alto Boquete, Panama, located just south of Yvonne's on the west side of the highway behind Mercamax. A large sign is clearly visible on the west side of the highway. The cluster of services includes an outpatient clinic with several beds for inpatient care, a pharmacy, and a fully functioning laboratory, as well as a true ambulance service equipped for advanced life support and a paramedic. We talked with Dr. Liliana Boya and spokesperson Jimmy Adamson, and they described some of the current and future services. Dr. Boya, could you talk a little bit about the clinic?
Good morning. God bless you. Okay, the name of the clinic, Jhave Rafah, is Jehovah Health. Jehovah Health. Okay, we here have service of internal medicine, pneumology, surgery, and general medicine, and other service. We open at 9 o'clock to 6 or 7 o'clock p.m. But maybe when the patient needed for urgency, we can come to here and give the service. Maybe pain in the stomach or another disease. Patient come here or call, and we come in anytime.
Talk a little bit about what makes the Pharmacia special.
So May Lewis, Cherokee Hospital, and us. And what that means is we actually carry an extra license so that we can carry all forms of pharmaceuticals, whether it's opioids, the higher level painkillers, comfort care drugs, things like that. Prior to us opening, you had to either go to Cherokee Hospital Pharmacy or May Lewis Pharmacy. One of the great things we're working hand in hand with the clinic here and Dr. Boya is she does house calls and stuff also, and if it is a home bedridden patient that needs opioids and stuff under the law, we can send the drugs with her. She gets the information that we need to keep our records straight to turn into the government. So it's we're working to get what we feel like we need. We are a full service pharmacy. We are in the process of starting to compile and do deliveries also. It doesn't matter where your prescription comes from, you can bring it to us. And the great thing is most of your drugs and stuff, if it's a weird drug that we don't have in stock, within a couple days, 1 or 2 days, we can get it. The only issue, and it's going to be an issue with any pharmacy that has the capability of carrying opioids, narcotics, is all those are controlled out of Panama City. So sometimes if it's a weird opioid, narcotic, it may take a week and a half, 2 weeks to get it, just because it comes out of Panama City.
If someone wants a specific brand drug, are you able to provide those?
No. So we're regulated under MNSA, under the pharmaceutical part of it. And surprisingly, the organization of the government that oversees the pharmaceutical industry in Panama is a lot more stringent than what we are in the United States.
Describe the ambulance service and what it offers the community.
So what's unique about the ambulance service that Dr. Boya and Rodrigo provide is minimum there'll be an EMT, licensed certified EMT in the back of the ambulance with you, beginning to provide for your medical needs, whether it's starting IVs, oxygen. They have it's a fully equipped ambulance service. So unlike a lot of the ambulance services in the Boquete area where they are just acting solely as transport and rendering no aid, as soon as this ambulance service picks you up, they begin aid. I've been fortunate enough to be up here at the clinic with them, getting my wife's treatments or whatever. We've had heart attack patients come in, we've had stroke victims come in. I've assisted them in getting the patient into the ambulance and getting them started going down the road. I've seen Dr. Boya drop what she's doing and be like, this patient needs a doctor with them during transport, and that's worked out great. Both with I saw her do that I've seen her deal with broken bones, where the person was dealing with a lot of pain and stuff, and she thought, I better go to comfort this patient. I've seen her do it with stroke victim. I've seen her do it with heart attack victim, and they start aid and they continually provide aid until they get you to the emergency room. If it's something, what's unique about this clinic and being in Boquete, this is the only hospitalization clinic in Boquete. So if they pick someone up and it's not a heart attack or a stroke or a compound fracture that needs set or something, they do have overnight beds here. I've seen them hospitalized from COVID patients that have problems breathing. My wife has stayed here in the last calendar year, at least 6 overnight stays. So they have that service going on here too. Dr. Boya and their team can evaluate and say, no, we need to take them straight to the emergency room in the B, or it's something we can take care of here.
Is there a way that a patient can be prepared to use the ambulance service?
So we have, it happens a couple different ways, and we've been trying to get patients or people in the community to come by and pre-register. So they have, say it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and they receive a call, hey, we need ambulance service at our house. Who wants to try to describe, well, I live behind the Alto Dorado, I'm the 5th house back on the 2nd street to the right, or whatever the case may be. So we've been trying to establish and get people to pre-register. But as it stands, you call the ambulance number and they'll do their best to find where you're at. And then we also have people that will drive up here in a car with a patient in the back seat of the car. And it just depends on the situation. If you have an allergy, the last thing you want to do is receive emergency medical treatment going down the highway, and they didn't know you had an allergy to something. So it's a whole big picture of getting pre-registered with them, and so they at least have your basic information.
Is there a paramedic or doctor on duty at all times?
If the clinic is not open, then the phone number forwards to whatever paramedic is on call at that time. If there is someone hospitalized at the clinic, there's a minimum of a paramedic here with them 24/7. They have Dr. Boya's number, and they can contact her with any questions they may have. She's up here all the time.
How long would it take for the ambulance to get to my house after I call?
I would say 30 minutes. Downtown Boquete, within 30, 45 minutes on the outside. Typically, we just moved into the same subdivision that Dr. Boya and Rodrigo live in. I know that if he's on call or something, they actually park the ambulance outside of their house. Mm-hmm. So I've seen him all hours of the night fly through the subdivision, and so they pretty quick response. The only if they were on a if they already had a call going or something like that, there may be a little bit of lag time, but it's a pretty quick response, especially whenever you compare it to some of the places that we move from in the States, hour and a half, because it's a rural area.
What type of medical conditions is the ambulance prepared to treat?
They both carry EMT bags, and they're fully stocked EMT bags or emergency medical bags. As far as, if you want to know specifics, that's going to be more of a Dr. Boya question. But they do carry a wide variety of medications on hand. They do have the defibrillator that they keep charged. Being up here at the clinic as much and working with the pharmacy as much, Rodrigo ensures that his ambulances are charged and ready to go 2 or 3 times a week. He's doing maintenance on them. He's making sure his defibrillators are charged and ready to go.
What would a patient expect to pay for the ambulance service?
I want to say that the minimum runs, so if it's just to transport you down and you're not using a lot of IVs and drugs and stuff, that of course they're going to have to come up on the price a little bit, but I believe the minimum is between $300 and $350 to transport to either May Lewis or Cherokee Hospital.
If you're thinking about the possibility of having to use the ambulance service for medical emergencies, it'd be a good idea to establish yourself as a patient so that they have your medical record available. Knowing what medical conditions you have, including allergies and current medications, will ensure that they can treat you safely during the emergencies. In addition to registering with the clinic for ambulance service, you can also subscribe to Rodney Direct. In a crisis, not being fluent in Spanish can be dangerous. Rodney Direct is a great service if you have to request emergency medical care. Their English and Spanish-speaking operators will quickly get you the care that you need. While the clinic does have hours of service with a physician, and you can certainly drop in, they may be out of the office for emergencies and house calls, so it would be a good idea to call for an appointment. There's a nurse on duty during office hours.